So I wasn't entirely satisfied with my Gone with the Wind review because what I wanted to get down to was basically this. Um, Hollywood, as we see it today, has hailed itself as some sort of moral guide, basically, or compass on what the right way to treat marginalized individuals is. And they do it by creating horrible things like the acolyte or any of those other type of woke media things. But at the same time, Hollywood was responsible for Hattie McDaniel not receiving her Academy Award along with the other actors until Clark Gable was like, hey, I don't want any part of this if you treat my team member like that. You know what I mean? Like, look up the story about Hattie McDaniel and how she was mistreated when she was awarded an award for her portrayal of Mammy in Gone with the Wind. The type of women who idealize Scarlett O'Hara as a strong figure and see her as something to aspire to are the same type of women who think that Prissy deserved to get slapped. Watch the scene where Prissy gets slapped. They're like, well, she shouldn't have lied to her mistress. Yeah, she was born in slavery to be an appliance to people who look completely and act completely different from her own culture. And you expect her to be loyal? You expect her to have some sort of upstanding character? Of course she's going to lie. Like I said in my other video. But really, bottom line is the type of chicks that look up to Scarlett O'Hara as some sort of feminist icon. She was a woman who had to do what she had to do in a man's world. Is the same type of woman who thinks it's funny that Prissy got slapped for lying. That annoying little Prissy. Completely being oblivious to the fact that Prissy's a slave. Let that sink in. She's not a person. She's a household appliance. And you're all mad because she lied? Guys, I'm surprised she hasn't tried to kill one of her masters at this point. Like, just ultimately, it feels like Hollywood is trying their darndest to pretend that they're the moral standard, when actually they've been mistreating people of color for ages. And considering all the stuff that went down with Harvey Weinstein and fucking P. Diddy, how do they treat women in Hollywood? Yeah, the type of women who think that Scarlett the Harlot is any type of hero are the type of women who probably sided with Amber Heard, who probably thinks that Jodi Arias had every right to murder who she was going to murder. If you have a vagina and you're remotely pretty, you should be allowed to act like the worst of society. That's what these women think. Because in their minds, they think they're Scarlett O'Hara. They think they're the belle of the ball. They think they're so pretty they can do like Gone Girl. They can do something horrible to another living person and get away with it. And that's what bothers me. The moral bankruptcy of hailing Scarlett O'Hara as some sort of feminist icon, when feminists are the ones who start screaming and moaning about diversity all the time, but yet y'all want to pretend Scarlett O'Hara was decent? I'm not saying we delete the movie from history. I'm not. I'm just saying let's call the characters for what they are. All right? Scarlett O'Hara was a piece of shit. Rhett Butler thought he was a piece of shit and he was punishing himself with her. And Melanie Wilkes, Melanie was just a codependent that was kissing up to the alpha female in hopes of getting her to like her. I know, because I used to do that myself. You know, there'd be a girl that'd be obviously mistreating me, bullying me, and everything. And I'd be like, she's my best friend. Yeah, don't do that anymore. That was high school for me. Not high school, school, but high school youth group. Yeah, that's another one there. But ultimately, anybody who hails Scarlett the Harlot as a strong, independent woman is probably the type of idiot who would think that The Acolyte was any good. You know, they're probably the type of idiot that think that, what's her name? Holdo, the stupid one from The Last Jedi who lied and said, oh, men shouldn't be allowed to lead. Or I don't know what the fuck. She was just the one who was Kathleen Kennedy's self-insert. I'm sorry. She was Ryan Johnson's love letter to Kathleen Kennedy, saying, oh, you're a strong, independent woman who has been mansplained your whole fucking career, and you should totally be the one to get all the praise and all the glory, and not George Lucas. And then she takes over and does a shitty job of it because she doesn't have the talent. And she makes it all about her fucking narcissistic self. That's the type of woman who probably looks at Scarlett O'Hara and thinks Scarlett O'Hara is some sort of, like, leader or some shit. When all she was a thirsty-ass bitch who couldn't take no for an answer and spent all of her time and energy trying to chase a man just because he rejected her when she was a teenager. Think about that, okay? Scarlett the Harlot is not anybody to aspire to, people. Vivian Leigh, maybe. Because she was a beautiful actress and she was very talented. But not Scarlett the Harlot, all right? Quit glorifying Scarlett the Harlot. She was the villain of the story. She was an anti-hero. Let's just call it for what it is. You're not supposed to want to be like her, guys.